You're listening to the Sasha Davis Podcast, a show about overcoming fear and manifesting your dream life. Each week, we'll dive deep into real stories and tangible advice about spirituality, law of attraction, mindset, and money so that you can be your happiest, healthiest, and most abundant self. You ready? Here we go. To day 3. Sorry, I was having a little bit of technical difficulties. It was, or again, for some reason, saying that my internet connection was unstable. So it like ends and then it restarts. I'm sure you guys get it. Anyways, let me know how day 2 went. Let me know how day 1 went for those of you who are just catching up. Very curious to see how things are going for you. We'll get started here in just a minute. All righty. Good morning. Good morning. It's such like a rainy day. Like when it has, I love the rain because like I love springtime, like summer's just around the corner, but like rainy days just make me like makes me want to nap. So I'm like trying to like rev my engine this morning to get things going. All right. So I have my notes here, but speaking of springtime, what's your guys' favorite thing about spring? This is like the first year that I don't have chickens or a garden. For those of you who know me, we are hey, good morning. We're in like a moving process, if you will. And so I'm trying to like minimize things before we do like a big move. And so like when I go to the store, I see all of like the baby chickens and like the garden stuff. And it just melts my heart. Those are like my favorite things. So spring is here. What do you guys love most about spring? Tell me in the comments. Yes, I feel that too. Good morning. Good morning. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Is there any other chicken lovers here too? Flowers, greenery, nice weather. Absolutely. Yep. I totally feel you on all those things. I think it's supposed to be in like the 80s this weekend. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Anyways, let's get started. So just to recap, we've already done day 1. We've done day 2. Day 1 was really getting clear on what we do not want so we could figure out what we do want, right? Yesterday was all about changing our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions so that they are in alignment with our deepest desires. Oh, thanks, guys. Got my lashes done. I love that. Thank you, guys. Yes, nice weather, makeup on point. I love it. Thank you. I appreciate it. You know how hard it was for me this goes, side note, law of allowance, law of acceptance goes after the law of attraction, right? And so being able to say thank you and receive gifts is a huge thing, and that we can talk about later on. But that was a huge point or a turning point for me, is just to say thank you instead of being like, oh, no big deal. These are things. Anyways, today, what I want to talk about is getting even clearer on the things that we desire most in our life, right? So we figured out what we don't want, which actually leads us to what we do want, and then how we align our thoughts, feelings, and actions, mostly our feelings, with the things that we desire most so that we can start to create a different reality for ourselves. And so today I want to share a few things that I do or that I have done personally. And I'll also have a couple of gals jump on later this morning to share their experience with manifestation, law of attraction, how they've done some of these things. So you can kind of get more than one perspective. There's no one size fits all with this, right? So take what works for you, toss what doesn't. While all of these things have really changed my life, you may only need a few of the steps, or you may need all of the steps, or you want to modify the steps. Okay. And so some of these things you may have familiarity with, you may be familiar with, but you can modify them. Like there's always room for improvement. There's always room for growth. And as soon as you think like you know it all, you kind of close yourself off to more experiences, right? So today I want to talk about how we can align our day to start feeling the things that we want right now. And so one of the things that you can do to help kind of shift your mindset, because I know that one thing that came up a lot in the homework is like negative self-talk, not believing in myself, self-doubt, imposter syndrome. Is this really possible? And so anytime we say those things to ourselves, again, going back to that tree analogy, you're putting more trees in your path. You're no longer on the path of least resistance. You're adding more resistance to the equation. And when you can bring awareness to those thoughts, you're able to shift them into better feeling thoughts. Okay. And so this is where affirmations come in, and stick with me here, because I'm not just going to like throw a bunch of like hocus pocus BS affirmations your way. I want to put a different swing on affirmations and how you create those affirmations to fit your desires. Okay. So if you're somebody who struggles with like self-worth, I want you to, if you feel like you're not worthy, or if this is too good to be true. One of the biggest affirmations, two of the biggest affirmations that I say for myself to make myself feel better is everything is always working out for me. That's like the one that I repeat all the time. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. The other one that I say now is the better it gets, the better it gets. I used to very much be when it rains, it pours, but then I'm just spiraling downward, right? Versus if I said things like the better it gets, the better it gets, like that feels better and I'm spiraling upward. So give me some examples, drop some examples in the chat, because I want to see what some of your desires are, and we can kind of work through some affirmations. I know there's a lot of people out there who say create I am statements, and I am all for I am statements if that works for you. But sometimes we don't necessarily believe the I am statement, and we're pushing ourselves farther away. So the money example, like I know a lot of you guys are working towards like financial freedom. And so if you say things like I am debt free, and you're not really debt free yet, do you truly believe that? And if you can't believe it and feel it, then that affirmation may not be the best fit for you. So what I say here is having a working affirmation. Okay. So instead of I am debt free, which we may not believe, we may not really feel it in our core. And you guys know what I'm talking about. Like when you feel something, you can like feel it in your gut. It either feels expansive, like there's possibility, or it feels restrictive, like you're being like chained down, or like, that kind of like icky feeling where you like almost like want to like retract, right? I want your I am statements or your affirmations to be expansive and heart opening and confident. So if you think about like somebody who's confident, they have their shoulders back, they're standing tall, they're like, hell yes, versus somebody who's like, I don't know, right? So you want to have affirmations that make you feel empowered, make you feel confident, make you feel like it's actually happening. It's very possible. Okay, so here's a great one. Shiloh just put financial freedom is in my future. Yes, or you can say, I'm working towards financial freedom. I am working towards debt free, or something like that. I am working towards, or this is happening. I am doing this thing. It doesn't have to be, I am debt free. I am debt free. Or like people who are working on their weight loss journey, a lot of times they'll say, I am, and then they'll put a specific amount, like a specific weight amount in there. And that's fine and dandy if that works for you, if you feel like that's true. But if I'm, say, 200 pounds and I want to be 150 pounds, if I tell myself every day, I am 150 pounds, I am 150 pounds, and then I go step on the scale and the scale doesn't tell me that, and there's no evidence that I am that, sometimes I don't truly believe it and I'm pushing myself farther away. So you can say, I'm working towards being physically fit. I am somebody who works out every day. I am somebody who takes my health seriously. I am something that feels a lot better than this concrete, you either are or you aren't. Like black and white stuff doesn't really work here. I want you to feel better. That is the number one thing here with creating your affirmations. And so when you look at your desire board, I want you to come up with things that feel really good for you. Think of expansive, think of empowered. And so when you say that I am statement, when you say that affirmation, how do you feel? Like check in with yourself, because your gut, we're going to get into intuition here in a minute, but your intuition knows, you guys, like your gut knows. I can't sit here and tell you what affirmation is going to be 100% accurate for you. You know. And so this is where you have to rewire your brain to tune into your body, to tell yourself what works for you. Okay. And so this is where you can get really quiet. This is where meditation comes in. And there's a million different ways to meditate. It's not just like sitting here going, oh, I mean, you can do that, but there's walking meditations, there's music meditations, there's nature meditations. Hell, if you just put your phone down for 10 minutes, step outside and like tune into yourself, a lot of times those downloads will come in and you'll hear and see and feel exactly what it is that you need to do next. And we'll get into inspired action here in a minute. So step number 1 is I want you to create affirmations, some type of empowering statement that you can write down every day or just say to yourself when things feel off track, right? And so if you're somebody who is worried about money a lot, you can just say like, everything's always working out for me. Everything's always working out for me. Everything's always working out for me. And if you can hold that thought for at least 20 to 30 seconds, you'll start to feel better. You'll start to shift. Your energy will start to rise. You'll start to be on that spiral upward. Okay. But you have to hold that good feeling thought. And that good feeling thought will lead into other good feeling thoughts. Okay. You can go one of 2 ways, spiral up or spiral down. And so I want you to start holding those affirmations, holding those good feeling thoughts for at least 30 seconds, 20 to 30 seconds. If you can go a minute or 2 where you're just like repeating that affirmation to yourself and like literally standing and feeling more confident, more empowered, that will really start to shift that energy within you. Okay. I'm not going to get a whole lot into energy work in this 5-day challenge because that is a whole nother can of worms. But the next thing that you can do, let's see, where is mine? Here it is. You can create a vision board for yourself. Okay. You can do a digital vision board. You can just have pictures of things, or you can literally just sit with your eyes closed. And this is something that I do with my clients a lot is I'll have them visualize the first thing that comes up. Like I'll walk them through a guided visualization because again, your intuition, your gut, your body knows what it is that you desire most. And a lot of times we're just not listening to ourselves, right? And so again, like I can't paint that picture for you. You have to paint that picture for you. So I'm the teacher, I'm the guide telling you how to paint your own picture, okay? And so when you can visualize what it is that you're achieving, you can put yourself in that position much quicker. You can attract those things into your life much quicker when you have a clear vision of what it is that you desire most. And so one of my favorite things is vision boards. I did a black and white one this year just because my printer took a shit and the color part didn't want to work on it. So we got a black and white vision board. I've seen people who do like magnet boards. Those are really cool. I've seen people who do digital boards. I've seen people who do like magazine cutouts. Again, this is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be thrilling. It's supposed to make you like get excited for the things that you want, right? I've seen people do digital vision boards. Like I have a Pinterest board and that's kind of where I like can go and scroll through all the things. And I'm like, oh gosh, I'm so excited. This is going to be my next vacation. This is going to be my next house. Da, 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 da. See, people love vision boards. Vision boards are my jam. Yes. I used to like get so hung up on perfectionism on like the vision board. I'm like, oh, it has to be like strategically, but then I just said, screw it. I'm just going to slap things on there because if I can look at this every day and see the things that I desire most, they're now in the forefront of your mind. Okay. And what we focus on, we get more of, right? Going back to that, I don't want a pink elephant, you're going to get more pink elephants. Or if I want a red truck, you're going to get more red trucks. So what you focus on, you get more of. And so when we can have a visual representation of the things that we desire most, it's going to stay in the forefront of your mind. That vision is going to be right here versus allowing yourself to spiral down that emotional guidance scale. Okay. Again, you can do this whatever way works for you, whether it's just a few minutes of guided visualization in the morning. You could literally just sit while you're drinking your coffee and stare out the window and dream about the house that you want, dream about the vacation that you want. Let yourself get lost in thought. You know, we as children have these elaborate imaginations. And for those of you who are watching who have kids, I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. I have a couple of young ones and they just like, they are in their creativity. They are in their imagination. And so I love seeing them get creative because it sparks that inner child within me. And that's what we need more of. We need to be more of that inner childlike self. We need to be creative. We're human beings. We're meant to be creative. We're meant to dream and imagine and do things. We're not meant to just sit here and live life by default. We are meant to do things that bring us joy. We are here to experience life. And that's what I want you to do more of. I want you to experience the life that you want to be living right here, right now. Somewhere along the line, we lost that. Whether it was from family, past lives, society, school, whatever it is, we have minimized our imagination. We have minimized our level of creativity. And so I want you to tap back into those creative juices. And don't tell me that you're not creative, because you are. That is a story that you're telling yourself. Okay. So how do you tap into that creative juices? Put the phone down, like go outside, do something, soak up some sunshine, do something that brings you joy. Okay. You're going to hear me say, do more things that make you happy probably 50 million times. You're going to be like, Sasha, shut up. But when you can do more things that make you happy, make you feel fulfilled, get you excited, that's going to project us into the next couple of things that I'm going to talk about here. So vision boards can really help you kind of embody what it is that you desire most. Visualizing for at least 2 minutes. Okay. Just getting lost in thought, daydreaming. Like for those of you who are daydreamers, I'm a huge daydreamer. I'll just sit back and like, oh man, I can't wait till I can do this and this and this. And you just allow yourself to get excited. And the next thing you know, boom, 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 shit's happening. It's like the coolest thing, but you have to allow yourself to have that blank space to be creative and to dream about this stuff. Pinterest boards are great. You can also do, I think, law of attraction. There's a couple of, or if you just type in vision boards, I think there's quite a few digital vision boards that you can do too. So if that's kind of like your jam, you can do that. But those are kind of like the big things that help me get into the space of this is already mine, see it, believe it, feel it. Okay. So first, affirmations, creating empowering statements around the things that you desire most. And then I want you to visualize what it will actually feel like, look like when you have that thing. And if it's not a thing that you're after, maybe it's a feeling that you're after. Because honestly, we're all after feelings. Every time you get that thing, you just want more things. And that's totally fine. Like things are fun. Things are a way to celebrate. Things are a way to experience life. But let's say that you're after a feeling of joy. What does joy look like for you? So if you like close your eyes for just a minute and you take 3 deep breaths, like belly breaths, and think of the word joy, what are the images that pop into your head? Those are going to be the things that you're going to want to work on. Okay. Those are going to be the things that you're going to want to do. I was just talking to a gal last night and I said, what makes you happy? And she's like, I have no idea. I have no idea what makes me happy. And I was like, all right, I have a perfect exercise for you. I said, I want you to get quiet and close your eyes. And this is probably pretty awkward for her because she was a gal that just joined my 90-day program. First call. And I'm like, let's get quiet. Let's get uncomfortable. And so I had her sit, just sit tall, hands facing up because you want your palms up. This goes back to the allowing yourself to receive. And so this is just like a gesture of like, I'm open and willing to receive. Shoulders back. So your heart space is open. That chakra is open. If you guys are kind of into that kind of stuff. Anyways, you just close your eyes and you just belly breathe for a few minutes. You get relaxed. You say a word and the first things that pop into your head are going to be the things that you want to work on. And so I said, okay, now that you're quiet, now that you're focused, when I mention the word joy, what are the first things that come to mind? And the first things that came to her mind were friends and family and how she wasn't making enough time for them. And so what do you think her very first action step was going to be for that week? It was to go find a way to spend time with friends and family, because that's going to bring you the most joy right here, right now. You need to go do those things because that's going to help us get excited. That's going to help us take inspired action, right? It's like recharging your battery anytime you can get excited. You would never leave the house with your phone on empty. You would never leave, or with your car on empty, or you'd never leave with your phone on 10% battery. And I know that there's some of you that do, and that's probably a very accurate representation of your life and why you feel exhausted or overwhelmed. Okay. So take care of yourself, get excited, recharge yourself, refuel yourself, so that you have the motivation and the momentum to do some of these other things that you desire most. Okay. And every time those excuses pop into your head, I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have energy, Guess what you're going to get more of? Lack, 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 lack everywhere. Okay. Quit telling yourself the stories of I'm not worthy. I don't have time. I don't have energy. Shift your mindset. You have to start finding the time now, because you're not going to get to this like magical space in your life where boom, you're gifted all this time, because your habits show that when you do have time, you fill that time with shit that doesn't bring you joy. So what do you think is going to happen? You're going to continue to fill that space with things that overwhelm you, exhaust you, and stress you out. So you have to start rewiring your brain now, creating those healthy habits now, so that when you do have that time, space, financial freedom, you know how to enjoy it. Okay. It's not someday when, it's someday now. Someday is today. This is happening right here, right now. Okay. So after affirmations, visualizations, this is going to help us just get excited. So this is where I want you to start embodying that feeling now of this is already mine. Everything's working out for me. Get excited, guys. Get excited. So a perfect example of this, hang on, is when you book a vacation. Okay. Think of when you book a vacation. All you have to do is like go online. Oh, here, Expedia, booking.com, blah, 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 Airbnb, click, confirmed. You're not actually at the location yet, but you're getting excited. You're like, I'm going to buy this swimsuit and I'm going to buy this hiking boots and I'm going to invite this person. I'm going to do this. I'm going to pack. I'm going to clear my calendar for that week. I'm going to tell everybody and their mom that I'm going on a vacation, and I'm going to make everybody jealous. Because that's what we do. We get excited, right? We're not actually there yet, but we know that it's happening. So start treating your desires and your manifestations, the things that you want most in your life, like you're booking a freaking vacation. Okay. You're going to do things. You're going to rearrange your calendar to create the space for that vacation. You would never book an all-inclusive vacation to say Hawaii, right? And then not take work off, not find a sitter, not find somebody to watch your animals or your house. No, that would be stupid, right? You take inspired action, you get excited, you make it happen. You pack, you get your suntan lotion, you get your swimsuits, you get all the things that you need to make that vacation a reality. And then you get on the vacation and it's like, boom, it's gone. And then you're on to the next thing. This is exactly how like the law of attraction and manifestation works, right? When you want something, I want you to start taking inspired action, rearranging your life like it is already yours, whether it's a career, whether it's money, whether it's a car, whether it's a house, whatever that looks like. I want you to start taking action as though it's already yours. Start packing your bags. You're going to Hawaii, okay? Or whatever it is. You have to declare it. You have to feel it. You have to believe it, okay? And then take action like it is already yours. And so this is where inspired action comes in, right? So this is where I want you to start listening to your gut. I'm sure you've all been in a place where you said to yourself after an event, man, I should have just listened to my gut. I should have just listened to what this was telling me, because then you went and overthought about it, or you didn't take action quick enough and you missed out and you're having like FOMO, or something bad happened because you weren't tuning into yourself. Okay. So trust that the things that you desire and the things that are presented in your life are meant for you. It is up to you to take the steps. This is where I think a lot of people get confused about the law of attraction, because you can't just sit here and own yourself to be a millionaire or own yourself to be in Hawaii, right? I mean, maybe if you have like amazing mind power, but a lot of times you have to take some inspired action. You have to actually like buy the lottery ticket. You actually have to book the trip. You actually have to get on the plane to make things happen. Okay. And so that's the inspired action. And so a perfect example of this is a gal this last fall, or even like, I'll share my Hawaii trip with you guys. Okay. I'll try to keep it in just like a couple of minutes here, but this is inspired action. So for those of you who have worked with me before, you've probably heard this story a million times, but it's just a great example because I really wanted to go to Hawaii. I think it's been 4 years ago now, and I didn't know how it was going to happen, because for those of you who have been to Hawaii, it's pretty expensive. I think it ended up costing about like $3 or $5 grand a person or something like that. And I love traveling. I love going on vacations. That's like one of my favorite things. It's one of my core values. So I will always do things that align with my core values, right? This is another thing where we like set boundaries for the things that we enjoy most, but that's another topic. So anyways, my husband was giving me shit because we didn't have time, we didn't have money, we didn't have all these things. And I'm like, whatever, like we're going to Hawaii. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And so what I did is every day I would listen to ocean waves for my meditation. And I would just visualize myself like, oh, I'm in Hawaii. I'm soaking up the sun. I'm drinking Kona coffee. I'm doing all the things. And I watched Hawaii movies almost every single day. For those of you who are HGTV lovers, they have a show called Hawaii Life. So I watched Hawaii Life like all the time. Like I was constantly consuming Hawaii. I bought the swimsuit that I was going to wear. Mind you, I did not have this trip booked yet, but I just knew that I was going to Hawaii. It was going to happen. So I did all the things as if I was already going to Hawaii. I got my bags packed. I was ready to go. I knew it was going to be, what time frame it was going to be. And all of a sudden it was like February 12th. And on the radio, all of a sudden they said, hey, we're doing this thing at this casino. It's like a surf and turf dinner. And then it has like a game show, and the winner gets an all-inclusive trip to Hawaii for them and their partner, for the couple. And I was like, no way, this is how we're going to Hawaii. And so I called my husband. I said, hey, I just bought us 2 tickets to this casino. We're going to go to the surf and turf for Valentine's dinner. And the grand prize for this thing is an all-inclusive trip to Hawaii. And he's like, Sasha, you're crazy. And I was like, Will, we are going to freaking Hawaii. We are going to win this contest and it is going to happen. And again, he just kind of goes with the flow. I think he just knows me now because I'm always like winning shit and doing shit, that I just have like this woo-woo mindset about everything. But you know what? It has gotten me to where I am today. So I'm here for it. And I want to share it with you guys. So then we're on our way to this thing, and it's about an hour and a half drive from where we live. And the whole way there, because it's this couples game, I'm like, okay, how do we prep? Like if they ask us this, what would you say? If they ask us this, what would you say? Obviously they didn't ask any of the questions that we rehearsed, but we had come to the agreement that whatever question they asked, we were just going to be 100% honest with each other, because they would it was like a newlywed kind of game. So like the men were out and the women were like in a sealed place where they couldn't hear anything. And then you switched and your answers had to match or whatever. And I said, no matter how ridiculous the answer really is, just be 100% honest. And mind you, like I was in upper management at this time at a career that I was at. So a lot of like my employees were there. I had friends and family there. Even my dad was there. It was horrible. And so they were asking like sex questions and just all kinds of stuff, but we had agreed that we were just going to be 100% honest. Well, anyways, this is the funny part, because you had to have like a player's card and you had to have like a ticket to get called up on stage, which I didn't have. And so they did like a last minute, like, hey, if you don't have a player's card, go get a player's card now, because we're going to announce the people in 10 minutes. And I'm like 6 months pregnant at the time. I was like, shit, I got to get a player's card. I'm like bolting across this casino, get a player's card, come back, sit down. Shit you not, we were the 6th couple to be called up, and there's only 10 couples, and there are probably over 1,000 people in this room or whatever. And I'm like, yes, I'm like screaming. I got this big old pregnant belly. My husband is like mortified. Anyway, so we get called up on stage and we ended up winning the entire competition. You guys, I shit you not, we won the whole thing. It was like the coolest thing. And we got an all-inclusive trip to Hawaii. So anything is possible, but you have to take those inspired actions, right? And so from there, I did all the things. I knew it was going to happen. I believed it was going to happen. I let go of the who, what, where, when, why, how, and just knew that this was going to take place. And it happened. And I have so many examples of these stories, so many examples. I mean, there was another gal that was working with me this last fall, but prior to knowing me or prior to working with me, she knew that she wanted to go on a retreat, didn't know what it looked like, da, 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 da. Next thing you know, I pop up in her feed and I have a retreat that was exactly what she was looking for. And so what did she do? She booked it. She goes, it was so weird because I was just like dreaming about like a retreat and da, 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 da. Next thing you know, like you pop up and this is what happens. And you have to take that action step to open the Facebook page. You have to take the action step to reach out to that person or buy that ticket or do the next thing. But you have to just already know that it's yours and that it's coming to you in ways, shapes, forms that are probably better than you could have ever planned. So this is where we let go of the who, what, where, when, why, how, all of the resistance, all of the perfectionism, and just trust the process. And so we'll get into letting go and trusting the process a little bit more tomorrow. But today, what I really want you to take away from this is creating empowering, confident, feel good affirmations. That if it doesn't feel good, modify it to the point that it feels good for you. Okay. Really step into that vision of what it is that you want to create, whether it's vision boards, whether it's just sitting with yourself for a few minutes, whether you're binge watching Hawaii Life, whatever that looks like. Okay. Next thing is I want you to get excited. Do more things that bring you joy. Do more things that make you happy. Get excited like you already have it. Okay. Like if you had the winning lottery ticket in your hand, you would be like fucking so stoked. You'd be jumping around. You probably wouldn't tell anybody because you're like, oh shit. But you know what I mean? You'd be really excited about it. You didn't have like piles of $1 million in your house, just like sitting there, but you would be really excited about it. Just the same thing as if you booked that trip and you weren't quite there yet. You are excited about it. So get excited. Next is take the inspired action. You actually have to do the things that will get you closer to your dreams, closer to your goals. And sometimes it'll feel scary, but rephrase that anxiety or that scariness, that nervousness to excitement. Okay. Cause it's a very same feeling. It's like the butterflies in the stomach, like, wah, and you start to like sweat. And I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. So instead of saying like, I'm anxious, I'm nervous, I'm worried, say, I'm excited, I'm excited, I'm excited. And start just following the breadcrumbs. Don't second guess yourself. Tune into your gut. Okay. And so your homework today is just going to be creating the affirmations, the empowering statements for your desires. That's going to be it. Okay. And if there's any inspired action that you need to take it. Okay. But the biggest thing that I want you to do for today's homework is creating those affirmations and sharing those affirmations within the group. Okay. And then in just a bit, actually in about 10 minutes or so, we're going to have a couple of gals come on. So I'm going to end this video. I'm going to start a couple more videos and they're just going to come on and they're going to share their experience with manifestation, with law of attraction, with creating a life that they love, with really stepping into who it is that they're meant to be, right? What it means to take inspired action for them. So you can kind of get like different perspectives on it as well. Again, like it's not a one size fits all thing. And then at noon today, I'm going to be doing just a giveaway just because you guys have been, kicking ass with homework. So today at noon, I'm going to announce our first giveaway, and then we're going to do the rest of the giveaways on Friday. So make sure that you stay tuned around noon hour for that. And then tonight I will announce the winner at 8 p.m. Central Time. The winner of the giveaway for today. So you basically have 8 hours to enter the giveaway for today. And then after the 8 p.m. giveaway, what I'm going to do, I answered your box. Okay, cool. Let's see. Love this story. Okay. You guys are so funny. I know the people who have like heard this story before. It's so fun. Like it's just so fun to share this stuff. And when you feel joy, when things become fun, they become easy and things become to flow and more good things happen to you. It's just, so get into that state of like excitement more often. And like, I'm telling you, good shit is going to come your way. Anyway, so today at noon, over the noon hour, I'm going to announce our first giveaway. 8 p.m. tonight, I'm going to announce the winner of the giveaway. And then after that, this is something I haven't done before, but I've had a couple people ask me, hey, how do I get access to these recordings? Because they're only up till Monday. So what I'm going to do is have like a VIP 5-day challenge. And so basically this is going to be a mini course, everything that you've consumed this week, all of the content, you'll have lifetime access to it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I will open doors for that. And then you can also get my magnetic morning. So basically you'll get the 5-day challenge, 5-day manifesting 101 challenge, and the magnetic morning routine, which is one of my favorite things to do. And it doesn't just have to be a morning routine. It can be things that you do throughout the whole day, but it's going to be ways to magnetize yourself so that the things that you want most are attracted to you much quicker. So you'll get the 5-day challenge plus the magnetic morning for $97. And you'll you'll have lifetime access to that. So I'll get working on that today so that if for those of you who want to take advantage of that, that will be available to you at 8 p.m. tonight. And then tomorrow, for those of you who are looking for like next steps, who want to work with me one-on-one or group setting, I will announce the 90-day Manifest Your Dream Life program if you're looking for additional support. So we'll kind of walk through what that looks like after tomorrow's training. And this is going to be an intensive, if you will. So there's a lot of support, a lot of momentum in these 90 days. And for anybody who's been a part of this challenge, you get $500 off. Okay. So this isn't going to be something that's offered forever. This is going to be something that's going to be open for maybe the next week. And so I will announce all of the details for that tomorrow. But tonight, if you're looking at having access to these trainings, these videos, the magnetic morning content, any of the stuff that we're going to consume Monday through Friday this week, plus the magnetic morning, you can get lifetime access to that for $97. And so I'll have an email go out later today. I'll post some stuff in the group. And if you have questions, you guys shoot me a message. Like, I am open. I know I've been having a lot of conversations with you guys behind the scenes. I love, love, love seeing your homework. You guys are kicking ass at the homework. So for today's homework, just to recap, create empowering, confident affirmations to help you manifest those desires much, much, much quicker. If you want, you can also go to the extent of creating a vision board or a digital vision board. And if you do, please share that in the group too. At noon, we'll do our first giveaway, and then I'll announce that winner tonight. And then we'll open the doors to the VIP 5 days so you guys can have lifetime access to all of these recordings. So thanks for sticking with me. I know this one went a little long. I love talking about this stuff. It is seriously, it brings me so much joy. And I hope it brings you guys joy too. If nothing else, I hope you're feeding off this energy and you have just like the best day ever. So if you guys need me, you know where to find me, and I'll see you soon with some live interviews. All right, catch you later.